Natalie Fort Show is sponsored by MTN, Absa Bank Ghana, Dogtas Exclusive, Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, supported by Mahalia Collection, Crazy Daisies, The Club G100, Self Search, Weller Dazzles, Beldale Artistry, Infonifier.
The Natalie Fort Show Season 2 is here now.
The hustle and bustle of everyday life, it's always refreshing to sit down on a Sunday evening for conversations that matter. And that's what we bring you on The Natalie Fort Show. Tonight, I'm in conversation with an heir to a business that was established in Ghana's pre-independence era. Ashish Gokaldas is also charting his own path through his company, Askia Consulting. Of Indian descent, but a nationalized Ghanaian, he seeks to share his story with me as a father and as a husband. That's tonight on The Natalie Fort Show. Ashish Gokaldas, it's so amazing to have you join me here on The Natalie Fort Show. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited as well. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Now, I've known you for quite some time, but through school, right? One thing I'd like to find out from you, because I've seen all your incredible work that you're doing and becoming a father, of course, a husband. What's life like now as we speak for you?
Hectic would be the first word that comes to mind, but very happy because I keep working towards the next chapter always. And a lot of people say that, you know, they always look back to a chapter in life where they were most happy. I think I'm consistently challenged, and I'm quite content, to be honest. I'm happy that I have 2 kids. I'm happy that I'm married. I'm happy that my family's supportive. I'm happy that I'm just going to the next best thing each time.
You're content, and that's what I see, quite a lot of contentment and satisfaction. We'll get to that, but for those who do not know Ashish, right? Who is Ashish Gokaldas?
Ashish Gokaldas is a passionate entrepreneur, a loving family member, and someone who's really passionate about making an impact, not just on a business or personal financial gain, or anything like that, but rather coaching and mentoring, creating some social impact along the way, in whatever part that I can play.
Let's take it back some years, right? And run me through, you're an Indian, but you're a naturalized Ghanaian.
So the way I explain it to a lot of people is Indian blood, Ghanaian soul.
Yeah.
and yes, so our family has been here since the 1930s. If I'm not mistaken, we moved here in 1932. And ever since then, I'm the 4th generation here now. My grandfather was the first person to naturalize. And of course, my dad, my uncles, everyone's been born here for the most part.
And what sort of a childhood did you have?
A very happy one, actually. We all lived in one house together.
All being how many people?
19 at the peak at one time.
People in one home?
Yes, we did. And we converted the boys' quarters into an additional extended apartment as all of us children started popping out.
Is it an Indian thing? Is it just an Indian thing?
I guess maybe it is. Again, I'm not so sure, but it is very common in India to still have joint families. A lot of people living together. A good question would be my parents for that, but I can ask them and get back to you. But yeah, generally very happy, very playful. I don't call my cousins, they're my siblings, because we literally grew up together. We went into one goods delivery van to school. They dropped us off, and then they went to the warehouse, fill the warehouse, supply the goods.
So you went to school in Ghana. I know you went to the Ghana International School, but before then,
Busy bees.
Busy bees?
I can't even remember what area I was in, but I was, again, very playful, very happy. Never been a good student because I was always chatty and talking and making friends in school.
And how did your parents, what sort of relationship do you have with your parents, and did you have with your parents at that stage that formed you into who you are today?
I think initially I had a very disciplined and routine structure.
Initially?
Yes. The reason I say initially because as I've grown, that relationship has changed. I was also a very playful child. Again, I'm noting that because I never used to like to study or anything to do with playing, talking, meeting people. I was down. But in terms of actually studying at that time, not my best of interests. So they really had a hard time with me. They had to pull their hair out to just get me to sit down.
Yeah.
If I did math homework, it would be correct, but it would be completely messy and unreadable or illegible. So I'll never forget this. My aunt actually, once after finishing my homework, ripped my homework out.
And now she's do it again?
And she said, do it again. How are you going to get your teacher to read all of that?
And you did it again?
Oh yeah, of course. I cried, but I did it again.
Do you think that attitude has never, that's who you are, right? That's still who you are. You still have that sense of playfulness?
I do.
You do?
I do.
How does it help you now? Does it help or hurt?
It's a great question. It's both. It helps in the sense that I'm able to connect with people from anywhere around the world. Doesn't matter what background you come from, I can connect with you. I think because I'm so drawn to that, sometimes it puts me in a bad position with my own time management, to be very honest with you.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It does.
because I'm always willing to stop and have a conversation or stop and say hi or
To bring people in.
to bring people into, yeah.
Despite what you're doing for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah? Let's talk about your relationship between Ghana and India. Do you visit India frequently? When was the last time you were there?
The last time I was there was in 2018. So far, I think throughout my lifespan, I've been to India maybe 5 or 6 times.
Throughout your entire life?
Perhaps maybe more when I was younger that I don't necessarily remember. But then it was mostly to attend a family member's wedding or to visit family or also speak to suppliers now more recently.
For work.
For work. And I mean, it's been brilliant. When I go to India, I get a sense of familiarity in the way that I look.
Do you feel more Indian or do you feel more Ghanaian?
100% more Ghanaian. 51% Ghanaian shareholding.
Wow. Yeah.
But I do respect my Indian roots. I think a lot of my personality comes from this fusion of Indo-Ghanaian, right? Because I went to school here, most of my friends are Ghanaian. I mean, that respect in culture is very similar. The values in our cultures are very similar.
What similarities do you find between the values in Indian and Ghanaian culture?
Number 1 is respect. Number 2 is family. Despite however everyone is in their family, everyone at the end of the day really does want well for each other.
Yeah.
Right? And of course squabbles take place, all of that. That's common in every family. But that love and unity within the family is there consistently. I think a difference in culture for me is that the Indian culture is very like, go, go, go. And
in what way?
In the sense of even like work culture, right? It's a very, very different vibe there. Over here,
it's relaxed?
Yeah.
It's relaxed.
I'd invite someone in, I'd get to know them a little bit, and then speak about business.
Work, and that's okay.
And I think that in India, not everybody has that privilege because you have 1 billion people fighting for income.
Number of people. Yeah.
So, it's a different ball game altogether. So I think there's a little more aggression, I should say, that'd be the right word, in India. Whereas there's so much more warmth and love in the Ghanaian culture. I remember being a kid, walking down, I'd only go for a walk. I was very fat as a kid. Always go down for a walk just so that I could buy kili wili. All the people on the way saying hi,
Yes.
all of that. You know,
You don't
very
find that
friendly.
in India as much.
People are on the move in India.
Yeah.
Transport takes long. People commute 2 to 3 hours sometimes to work and back, and so the productivity, and you just got to be productive in India.
Yeah. Now let's move to what you're doing now work-wise, right? Your parents' company.
Yes.
Your parents settled in Ghana. In what year did they settle in Ghana?
My dad was born here. In fact, around post office, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And you were born here, were
I
you?
was born at Kolebu.
At Kolebu?
Yeah. So apparently, and my mom was also born here, believe it
Okay.
or not. So when my dad settled here, he went to school here as well. He went to GIS as well, and he's just mostly been here. He was away for some time. We tried to do business in Ivory Coast at one
Yeah.
point. We tried to do business in the States at one point. We tried to do business in India at one point. None of them panned
none
out
worked?
as well for us.
As Ghana.
As
Yeah.
Ghana, yeah. One of the companies has still stayed. We were into textiles, in retail textiles in India, and that is handled by one of my dad and uncle's cousin. So that's still operating.
That's still operating. Now, did you ever think that after over 30 years, your parents' business will still be running to the point where you would be working in it so actively as a grown man?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I've been quite. I'll start with my grandfather. Actually, I was very attached to my grandfather. He used to, and I really think I was his favorite grandchild. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
I was his favorite grandchild. He would pick me up, take me to the temple. At the temple, there was some bells. Always make me ring the bells, make
Okay.
noise.
Is the temple in Ghana?
Oh yeah, in Osu.
Okay. In Osu.
And he used to buy me Smarties and fruit.
Yeah.
He was just always very loving to me. And I always recall how he took care of people.
Yeah.
And I think that is a large part of my personality today, because of how he takes care of people. I experienced that mostly in the office when we'd go there for, the Diwali festival where we celebrate in the office with the family. When he would spend time with me, he made, for marketing once, my grandfather made business cards for all his grandchildren.
Wow. He made that himself for all of you?
Yes.
Okay.
And what he did was he put Gokaldas in red and in big. He put the first initial, let's say my name is Ashish, so A. Gokaldas. And so for my cousin, it was M. Gokaldas and so on. All of them had cards. I was too young. And it was at Diwali, so all of them bring their cards. They're all showing it around, and I start, the spoiled brat in the family starts crying. I didn't get a card, I didn't get a card.
So he got one made for you?
No, so his name was Atmaram Gokaldas. People used to call him Atu.
Okay.
So his name had the same initials as mine. And to be honest, I think that was the birth of my love for Gokaldas and the company as well. It was holding that card that my grandfather...
How old were you at the time?
Probably 5 or 6 years old, around my daughter's age now. But I was sobbing. He put me on his lap.
And he gave you his card,
He gave me
basically.
his card,
Yes.
and he said, I've made it for you. I was going to give it to you today. So don't worry. And he said one thing that I'll never forget. He said, you're my partner. And one day the seat will be yours. Now, at the age of
Wow,
6...
he said the seat will be yours.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me at that time.
Of course, you're too young.
I had no clue what he was saying, but that memory is so vivid in me. In fact, that is what has... A lot of my drive...
It's from that. And
It's
you
from
haven't
that.
forgotten that.
No.
Yeah. So what did that do to you at that stage?
That time, nothing. I was just happy I got a card. But then I think that as I've grown, there's an emotional connection with the business. Not necessarily with succeeding or failing, but making sure you do something with the business. And I think that is what that little memory has converted into.
What do you think when it comes to lineage and building family legacy in Ghana? Because one thing I find is that most often, not all the time, but most often, what we term, you're not a foreigner, I see you as Ghanaian myself, but what we term as foreign businesses seem to have that family legacy as opposed to a number of, not all, but a number of Ghanaian businesses. Why do you think that is so?
I think that a lot of, and it's hard to comment because every family is different. There are a lot of Ghanaian businesses that have done really well and have followed that legacy. I mean, an example to me would be GHOne Limited, right? And I think that it's all about planning, making sure that everything is crystal clear in communication, documentation as well to support that. Because a lot of, and I think that's improving with our generation, right?
True.
A lot of us are noting things down, documenting it, saying, hey, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
And look, sometimes in business, in life, in career, it's also your luck, right? You can do all the hard work and one product will make you successful. And again, depending on what you think is success, that's a whole different conversation, right?
What do you define as success?
My success would be, living a decent life. I'm not looking to get a private jet or a Lambo or anything like that. I have nothing.
You have no aspirations for any of those fancy things?
No, not at all. In fact, because you're interviewing me, I have a shirt on. Otherwise, I have a Gokaldas t-shirt on and jeans. And
you feel good.
I feel good, yeah. I just feel like I'm going, I'm going to go, I'm going to spend some time. And of course, spending good time with family and creating good moments.
At what stage of fulfillment are you now, if you could give me like a percentage? And what would be the ideal fulfilled moment for Ashish Gokaldas?
I think I'm in between a 5 and a 6, to be honest. I think an ideal moment for me would be driving the company to scale, expanding to become a multinational within West Africa, because I'm passionate about Africa, that too. If not full Africa, let me start with West
Africa.
And I'd love to see how I can build that, get professionals to run it, and start coaching younger businesses, start investing in younger businesses, helping them build their story.
Yeah. Now I'm going to go next to your relationship, your marriage, which honestly, I have to let you know, I sometimes stalk you a bit on social media because I find it so beautiful.
Thank you.
I really do. You're Indian. It's not to say that by virtue of being Indian, you'd be placed in an arranged marriage, I guess. But you're married to where's she from?
Cameroonian.
She's Cameroonian. I almost said Congolese. She's Cameroonian. And was there any challenge at the initial stage with you being Indian and her being Cameroonian?
Not necessarily a challenge, but yes, by all means. I mean, while my family and I have been in Ghana all this time, we've been born and brought up here. At the end of the day, the culture at home is still very Indian. So yeah, definitely maybe a concern of perhaps clash of cultures. But
was it difficult?
Initially, I was scared, so I think it's fear that makes it difficult.
Was she scared?
My wife is not scared.
Okay.
My wife is a very strong woman. Yeah, and it's something that I look up to. I was very scared, but I think that it worked out really well because our values are so similar, like we were talking about earlier. My wife is extremely respectful, extremely helpful. Her personality on her own, besides culture, religion, all those things are secondary. It's really about loving a person.
Yeah.
And from the second time I set eyes on my wife, in fact, I believe I was speaking to her for about 2 months, telling her to date me before she actually started
now she's
dating.
Lola, right?
Yeah.
She's Lola now. How did your love story begin? Briefly.
Mutual friend. I met her through a mutual friend. We met at one of these African cultural events, and because we were both in university at the same time, so all the African clubs on all the universities got together, put up a show, so a cultural night. We met very briefly there, and then a year later, I was with our mutual friend, and she invited my mutual friend to her mom's 50th birthday, and I always thought she was cute. So while she was on the phone with my mutual friend, I was like, me too, me too. So she was like, "Oh yeah, you know, you're with Ashish, sure,
Might
you
as
can
well
bring
come
him."
along, yeah.
Of course, she didn't know I could hear the conversation at the time, but and then from her mom's birthday party, I mean, we just connected.
And you knew
By
then
the
that
end
she
of
was
that
the one.
night, we were sharing a plate together, and it was.
And you knew then that
yeah.
she was the one. Now I'm going to bring on your uncle,
Okay.
who you told me that the Indian nickname for uncle is
So it's actually Chacha,
Chacha?
but we call him Daddy Bao.
Daddy Bao.
Yeah.
Why?
Bao is respect. It's like it's a name for
respectful.
it's like an elderly person.
That's like an elderly person. Okay,
So
I got
that's
you.
what Bao is. And apparently when I was small, someone came up with all the names and I just followed.
And you just
So,
followed. So
yeah.
Daddy Bao, we're going to have Daddy Bao on next, and he's going to be telling us more about your family business. Stay with us. So Daddy Bao, welcome
Good evening,
to
actually, yes.
the Nasty Ford Show. It's incredible to have you.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, one thing I do
Great.
notice are your very youthful steps as you're walking here. How long have you been in Ghana for?
Born here.
You were born here as well.
Yeah.
And where were you born?
Oh, at the Ridge Hospital, which today we have this big renovated.
Yes.
In the old days, that colonial style of
Yeah.
hospital, that is where I was born.
That's where you were born, at
Yep.
the Ridge Hospital. You still remember what it was like then?
Oh,
Yeah?
I mean, life has evolved, changed. Ghana, as our anthem says, our national anthem, is our homeland. I say our grandfather passed away here.
Okay.
Our mother, our father, until something else is destined, I expect that to happen to.
To you. You would
You
pass
know?
away here as well.
This is our
This is
homeland.
home.
Where
And I was just,
exactly.
yes, as she just mentioned, I mean, you are
It's home.
Ghanaian.
Yes,
Right?
we
You're
are.
even more Ghanaian. He feels even more Ghanaian than
Indeed,
Indian.
indeed.
Now, your family settled in Ghana pre-independence.
Correct.
Yes. I'm sure I don't even know as much as you may know about Ghana, right? Tell me a bit about what led them to Ghana at that stage.
You know, our grandfather, from what I'm told, we never had a chance to see him. He passed away in his late 40s.
Okay.
He used to work for a company in Japan who used to send him out to English-speaking West Africa to promote their business. Japan used to do what today China is doing.
Is doing, yeah.
Japan, Taiwan, they started. So he used to come here by ship.
By ship.
Our grandma, who spent a lot of time with us, both in Ghana and in, she passed away, of course, in India. But she used to tell us when he left, which seemed after 6 months, there was no communication.
At all. I mean, it was
All
a
we
long
did
time
is
ago, yeah.
all we did is pray for his well-being.
For his well-being.
She openly used to tell us that we never knew if he would even come back.
So he came because he was working with a Japanese company. And how did the
So
whole
he
story
started
begin?
from what we were told by our grandmom in the early 30s. So 32 is when he first set foot in Ghana. And had a couple of trips, after which he decided in 1937 to set up his own business.
And what business was that?
The products that he used to come and sell to others, he got the idea of what moves.
Yeah.
So he started importing those things and selling.
You've seen Ghana pre-independence. And
No.
You've seen,
I've not
you
seen
haven't
Ghana.
seen Ghana
I
pre-independence.
was
Your
born
family.
after, through family.
Yes, so through family,
Yes.
you've experienced in some way,
That's
or you've been
right.
told about Ghana pre-independence,
Yeah.
and you've seen Ghana post-independence. What do you think about the Ghana today?
There's been a lot of both plus and minuses. More plus, I would say. More plus. And it's evolved. One major thing I look at today is what technology has done to the world.
To the world? Yeah.
To the world. It takes a little extra time to come down to us, but today, look at how connected we are. Gone are the days where you think, oh, when did I hear of this? You want a newspaper to read about news.
Yeah.
Today you have it. But there's the downside of, there's a good side of technology, and there's also the downside.
So what are
of
just
it.
like, what are two good sides and two bad sides that you've seen in all these years with regards to Ghana?
More recognition and awareness of Ghana to the rest of the world, where we've done a lot in every field, many fields. Downside, I'm a bit hesitant to say what I want to say.
Please say it. Please say it. I mean, it's just on observation.
I think my main thing would be our younger generation.
What's your concern about the younger generation?
I am concerned for them.
How?
Personally, I speak from a personal view. We could be more productive and do better things than we do now.
In what way?
And technology has a certain part to blame in that.
That's true.
Because our minds are very diverted,
Yeah.
especially into the phone. Internet.
Yeah.
The good, the bad. There's both sides of it. And productivity levels.
Have reduced, you feel?
A lot.
Amongst the youth? Yeah.
A lot.
Sometimes sitting with family.
Family is
sitting with
worse.
family.
I don't want to go there. There'll be
Sometimes
trouble.
worse. Yeah. Sometimes sitting with family. And talking about family, yes, go ahead.
No, you could be husband, wife, 2 children,
And you're like this.
sitting at home.
Yeah.
No one's talking to each other. You're there together.
Yeah.
There's very little going on.
Yeah. It happens all
Everyone's
the time.
all
And the
the
children
time.
as well. It happens all the
Yes.
time.
Even worse.
Even worse.
Every generation
Yeah,
just
it's
getting
just getting
worse.
It's
worse
just getting
and worse. It's almost uncontrollable. Talking about family, I'm going to have a spring. Love,
Yeah.
your beautiful daughter.
Thank
and
you.
congratulations on your now 6 months old son.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's bring on Love. How are you, Love?
Good.
You're well? So are you guilty of staring in the phone?
Pardon?
Are you guilty of Are you guilty of
Do you
staring
like
in?
watching YouTube?
Do you like
too
watching?
much?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
But at least I'm sure there's something she learns, I guess. Yeah? I'm sure there
What do you
definitely
learn
is.
from YouTube?
What do you
love?
learn?
Nothing.
Did she say nothing?
Nothing.
She said nothing. See?
She actually
No, but-
said nothing.
Oh, tell. What do you learn?
The good things.
Tricks. What sort of tricks do you learn?
Why do you put ketchup on the tap to clean it?
That's actually smart.
Yeah, so she does a lot of DIY on YouTube.
That's actually smart. So
Thanks
that's,
to my
that's
aunt,
pretty good.
actually.
Yeah, that's actually smart. Ashish, talking about the generations and the family business, how do you prepare your daughter, your 6-month-old son, as he grows, of course, to take up from you?
I think from what I have experienced, the best way to support your child and prepare your child for generational businesses or family-owned businesses is, number one, support your child through what they want to do, what their interests are. When they reach a certain level, you evaluate whether that could be an additional business segment under your group or business or...
You make space for them.
Exactly.
In the business, yeah.
Yeah. And you teach them to get a professional or, if they are interested,
Yeah.
to run them consecutively or together, concurrently, excuse me. And that way it's a win-win. They're doing what they're interested in. Likewise, if they want to work for somebody,
It's okay.
you need to have the heart to plan for hiring a professional
to take over.
to take over or selling your business. But you need to accept that and think about it.
Yeah.
Now, sitting here today, yeah, I'd love it for my children to take over whatever I'm building today.
Yeah.
However, if they're interested in something else,
It's fine.
I'm not going to force them and
Box them in.
box them
And
into something they
is
don't
there
want
ever
to
a
do.
gender consideration for you between, because most people, you have a son, that the son, the boy will take over the business. Is that ever a concern?
And it used to be,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Not anymore at all?
Not at all.
Yeah. So if Love wants to take over at full capacity, she can,
The
right?
Happily.
the
Yeah.
only thing you'll think about is when one day they fall in love with someone, are they moving or are they staying?
Okay. That's what you think about in the case
But
of
that,
the girl.
that would,
Yes.
no, but it would equally
could be
apply
both
to
ways,
a boy.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it's not a concern at all.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not
it
anymore.
used to be in
Yeah.
the old days.
Absolutely. Love. So what do you like currently? What do you want to be? Do you have any idea or no?
A singer and a dancer and a ballerina.
Can we whip that into the Gokaldas group?
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Gokaldas
Entertainment.
Limited.
It's something, it's a thought. You're watching the Natalie Fort Show, and I'm joined by Ashish, Gokaldas, his lovely uncle, and his daughter, Love. Stay with us, we've got fantastic next, and they're going to be playing the game with me. Stay with us. It's time for Fantastic now, and I've got my three lovely guests who are also going to be playing this game, right? I've called this game Ghana, Cameroon, India.
Okay.
So it's a game of just choosing, right? Here are the instructions. You're each going to have 3 flashcards. Love is going to be my assistant, so she's going to join me here. Love, you can come. Now, you're each going to have 3 cards. You can sit here. You can sit here. And on these flashcards, there's Ghana, there's Cameroon, and there's India.
Okay.
Now, I'll read out facts on each country.
Okay.
Love and I will read out facts on each country, and you'll hold up the card of the country that fact is from.
Fantastic.
Make sense? Okay, great. So here are your cards. Ashish, please share it equally between you. So first question. Its food has become one of the most widespread cuisines in the world. India. Correct? Okay.
Correct?
Correct. Oh no. It's definitely India. Second question, Love. Here. Home to
Home to
Africans.
Africans'
Oldest.
oldest
Forest.
forest.
1, 2, 3. Is that it? Wrong. Both of you.
Wow.
It's Cameroon.
Wow.
It's Cameroon.
Wow.
It's called the Korop
So,
National Park Forest. So it's Cameroon.
So we're bad at geography.
Now, question number 3. Producers of fantasy coffins.
Oh, of course. That's
Gotta. The coffins are just amusing. Okay,
Cows are
considered
considered sacred.
Sacred.
1, 2, 3. Of course. Cows are considered sacred. India, correct. Question number 5. Its name means warrior king. 1, 2, 3.
So go for
Yeah,
it.
you just copied. Yeah, you're right. Got it. So I'm gonna read the last one because it's has one of the strongest football teams in the region. No, actually,
My wife will beat me.
I will go for
he's right, Cameroon. Definitely Cameroon. Now, Ashish, I want to know from you. You've done so much so far. You're working with Gokaldas now. You're working with your own consulting firm. What does the future of Gokaldas and Ashish's future as a father, as a husband, look like?
For me, it's making sure that I don't get carried away too much on the work side. I also am there as a father, as a husband, and making sure that I keep, like I said at the beginning, I'm just going to look to the next chapter. If I make a mistake, if I'm late anywhere,
It's
I will
fine.
just
Yeah.
come, I will fix it, and I will follow up and move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. Do you want to say anything? So do you feel more Ghanaian, more Cameroonian, or more Ghanaian or more Cameroonian?
Pardon?
Do you feel more Ghanaian, more Cameroonian, or more Indian?
Indian.
Oh my.
Watch her move back to India.
I know, just go back to India. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Ashish.
having
Thank you
us.
too.
Thank you.
It's been
It's
wonderful
an
and
absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the very best with Gokaldas and with your lives and with your work
Thank you.
and
Thank
your
you.
impact. So thank you so
much
much.
appreciated. Thank
It's
you
been a pleasure
too.
having you.
God bless.
On this segment, we seek to celebrate women who are making a great impact with the support of APSA. Here is a star woman.
Hello, my name is Adelaide Beneprempe. I am managing partner of BNP Associates. Typical day. I normally start with a good workout, I have to say. I wake up incredibly early. I get my children ready for school, and then by 6:30 I'm ready for a run. I typically do a 3-kilometer run, and then I come back and do a round of boxing with my coach. It's something that keeps me going. It's very good thinking time for me, and it energizes me for the day. So once I'm done and I come to work, I come in with a bout of energy, ready to face whatever opportunity or indeed whatever challenge, as the case may be. I find that in this line of work, one has to be intellectually and physically able to meet the demands of it. You need that stamina to keep going. So that's one way I've found of keeping myself positive and energized. I love the fact that I do exactly what I love with it. I think the first thing is I find it intellectually stimulating. The variety, the experience and the growth that the law provides is limitless. No day is the same. I also find it rewarding. I enjoy the fact that with my skill set, I can provide solutions for people. I thrive on that, and I think that I live for the moments where a client comes back with positive feedback to say something that I did or some kind of work that I did has improved their chances of success in a transaction, or indeed improved their life in some respects. So for me, I see that as a privilege. I think I've always been curious. I was a very curious child, and I think my parents will tell you that I couldn't stop asking questions, sometimes to the embarrassment of my parents when friends came around. But I think for me, the law satisfies that sense of curiosity. And I enjoy the fact that I'm able to do different things, different aspects of the law, and enjoy the journey as well. There are several. Okay, I'll whittle down to a couple. The first is, unfortunately, sometimes women face a lot of prejudice, and there are some preconceptions in respect of a woman who is probably a mother as well. So the idea that our reliability is not guaranteed consistently, give them a bit of an opportunity, but not too much, because it may well be that they can't handle it because they've got several hats on. And therefore, you need to be tough, and you should have command of the subject at hand or the area of law to prove yourself time and time again. And that sometimes leads you down a dangerous path of working antisocial hours, even when it's not necessary or indeed it's not important. So you need to stop yourself and realize that you're good enough, and the right clients will come along. And I think so far so good for that. So setting up this firm is a firm I started from scratch, literally from scratch. I initially qualified in the UK. I practiced there for 10 years, and then I moved back home simply with the resolve that I wanted to set up a firm which housed talented lawyers who were willing to make a difference in service delivery. So with that and a prayer, I just set up this firm. It wasn't easy, and it still isn't. I didn't set up a firm which had ready-made clients. I had to go out there and make sure that I prove myself for clients to basically give us the opportunity to do some work. So sometimes the difficulty really lies in turning around the prejudices and the preconceptions and making people realize that, yes, I'm a woman, I'm a mother of 3 children, but I can do it. I have the physical, intellectual stamina to do it. And I have to say that some clients have actually enjoyed that and they compliment me because they tell me that as a woman they find that I'm more meticulous with my work. So, you know, there's something for everybody, and it's about just persevering and finding it for yourself, making sure that you are competent when you get the opportunity, making sure you deliver when you get the opportunity, so that they will come back. So for me, the difficulty was at the beginning, but I've learned so much on this journey that is part of the joy I derive in doing this job. I think that, you know, on this journey, a lot of people make and shape your journey for the good. But a number of things stood out for me. The first advice I would give is that go for it. Go for it and experience it. Don't hold back. As women, sometimes we set impossible goals for ourselves, and sometimes we find ourselves hesitating when an opportunity arises. If this is what you want to do, I would say that it's important at the outset you realize that it's hard work. If you want to get to the top and remain there, it has to be hard work consistently.
Every day, there are thousands of Ghanaians who are out there working to put food on the table. This is to let you know that we see you and we celebrate you. That's I'm proud of my hustle.
Your friend, Kwaku Yaboa, no rich. Jamaton, pure water, ne toffee in the biscuit in your maybe. By Juman so dear Boami, and one of the high medine, the Shama and the man in I am proud of my hustle.
It's been a wonderful discussion this evening on the Natalie Fort Show with Ashish Gokaldas, who is heading the Gokaldas group, and as a father, is a devoted husband, as well as with his uncle Narish, and his lovely daughter, Love. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation too. A special thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible: MTN, Absa Bank, Geisha African Strength, Self-Search Ghana Limited, the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, Dushtas Furniture, and our supporters, the club G100, Cookie the Makeup Girl, Mahalia Collection, Crazy Daisy, Wella Dazzles, and Infunifear. Until we come by next week on your screens here on GHOne Television, you can also watch us and follow us on YouTube at The Natalie Fort Show. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Early morning, I will let my cruise. Will be the run, my body will be the move. Haji Akanto, oh, will we go do? How was a cocoa and cause it could do? Tin up, make we go my car. Cute day for transportation inside. No, say you tired, you want to come on. But we forgive up the hustle, what yeah. Baho, chale what? Why you no go feel where passane? Kwamo, chale what? Baho, chale what? Why you no go feel where passane? Kwamo, chale what? the random, my body will be the move. Haji, I cancel, and will we go to? How was a good and cause it good do?
The Natalie Fort Show was brought to you by MTN, Absa Bank Ghana, Gokaldas Exclusive, Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Supported by Mahalia Collection, Crazy Daisies, The Club G100, Self Search, Weller Dazzles, Beldell Artistry, Infonifier.